because we've had a soft life. The poorest among us are still some of the richest in the world. The poorest among us have blessings beyond the wildest imagination of anyone that Mother Teresa visited. And yet, we don't recognize it. Instead, we've grown tired. We've grown weak. We're dividing ourselves. There is growing hatred in the country. We must be better than what we've allowed ourselves to become. We must get the poison of hatred out of us, no matter what anyone may say or do, no matter what anyone smears or lies or throws our way or to any American's way. We must look to God and look to love. We must defend those that we disagree with, but are honest and have integrity. There are people that were on this stage, and I don't have permission to say who they were, but there were people on this stage that not only took great personal risk, but also, one in particular, organized for our president, led a prayer breakfast, is a Democrat. You would think the media will tell you that there was only a bunch of Tea Parties. No. That person stood on this stage because of honor and integrity. There's a lot we can disagree on, but our values and our principles can unite us. We must discover them again. Americans have always looked to explore. We went west, and then we went up. We're going down into the oceans. The time to explore is changing. For us to explore, we must not just explore outer space, but we must, as Americans, explore inner space. We must look inside of ourselves and look at what we truly believe. The Lord will always send a people wake-up call. And He has been sending us wake-up call after wake-up call after a wake-up call. And it has been through the Republicans and the Democrats. It's all of us. All of us. He has been sending us wake-up calls. And you can send two kinds of wake-up calls. One through fear, like 9/11. 9/11 woke us up, and we stood shoulder to shoulder for a very short period of time. Politics didn't matter. Color didn't matter. It didn't matter if you were poor or you were rich. We were Americans together. Beyond that, we were God's human creation, standing together. But fear only wakes you up for a very short time. I know that many in this country think that I'm a fearmonger. It is not a label that I think applies. I do talk about frightening things. But I don't think the man who saw the iceberg as the Titanic was about to hit it and said, "It's an iceberg," was a fearmonger. He was warning the people on the ship. Waking people up through fear only will awaken them for a very short period of time, as we all found out with 9/11. Do you not think the apostles, while waiting in the Garden of Gethsemane, were afraid? Jesus asked them, just watch with me for an hour. He prayed and he came back and they were asleep. The enemies were lighting torches and gathering their swords. And they said, sorry, we'll do better next time. And they didn't. 1, 2, 3 times. Can you not watch with me for 1 hour? The response is, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Well, what do? They weren't awake. They weren't awake until after the resurrection. And then they knew. And they never went to sleep again. It wasn't the fear of death. It was the resurrection that kept them awake. We must, as a people, strengthen our spirit. I ask you, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Americans, we are all Americans. We all must realize how nice we have it here, despite all of our problems. We must recognize the great things that we have done, while noticing as well, so we can learn from the lessons all of the bad things that we have done. Know them, so we never repeat the same mistake. But we must make a choice today. I gave a 40-day challenge on the air 40 days ago today. I asked you to do 3 things: faith, hope, and charity. In your own life, I asked you, pray on your knees. Not just pray, but pray on your knees. Recognize your place to the Creator. Recognize that He is our King, and He is the one that guides and directs our life and protects us. I ask not only if you would pray on your knees, but pray on your knees with the door open for your children to see. Not only pray with them, but let them see their father or their mother humbled by God in prayer. That which they gaze upon, they will become. The second thing I ask you to do, for hope, tell the truth. Tell the truth. And it only matters when you tell the truth and you know it's going to hurt you. You know that it's not going to help your side. Tell the truth. America is crying out for the truth. Tell the truth in your own life and then expect it from others. And the third, I asked you 40 days ago to do. For charity, connect with your family, your spouse, and your children. Give them extra time. Give them extra attention. Charity begins at home first. My challenge to you today is to make a choice. Does America go forward and the American experience expand, or does the experiment fail with us? Make the choice. And then, if you answer as I do, look to the top of the Washington Memorial. The Washington Monument, praise be to God. My favorite line in the Declaration of Independence is, with firm reliance on divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Let that phrase be our guide as they put on the top of the monument, as Thomas Jefferson said, if you really want to share the truth, embed it into architecture. The truth is on the walls here. The truth is on the top of the monument. But it's also in our founding documents. What is the answer? Do you think they were just using the wrong size font when they said, we the people? Do you think somebody was like, hey, you gotta size that down a bit, it'll not fit on the page? That was code. They knew we would forget. And at the end of the Declaration of Independence, it is our guide out with firm reliance on divine providence. Step one, with firm reliance on divine providence. How? How can you possibly have firm reliance if you don't know what you believe? If you're just doing it because your family has done it. If you're just doing it because it's what we do. If you haven't, as Thomas Jefferson said, question with boldness even the very existence of God. For if there be a God, he must surely rather honest questioning over blindfolded fear.